welcome. I'm Neha Bajaj, and you're watching me on ET Now. And welcome to the ET Now.in Reality Conclave and Awards West Edition 2026. And I have with me Mr. Ali Rangoonwala from the Greenscapes group, who has won the award for the Excellence in Commercial Project Navi Mumbai. Welcome and many, many congratulations.
Thank you so very much. Thank you very much for having us.
We are glad to have you. And so before I begin with the questions, I want to know the philosophy behind the Greenscapes group, from how it started and the positioning of the brand right now in the market.
So, okay, that's a little long question, and I'm going to do the best I can to do it as concise as I can. The Greenscape Group is actually the vision of just one man, and that's our MD and CEO, Mr. Suresh Vavia. We're now 2 decades into the business of construction, and the whole premise of the group and its entire foundation and ethos has been what he considers as great elements of architecture that can be brought within an Indian context. So the whole company is extremely design driven. We are extremely future forward, and we like to think of ourselves as dwelling in projects that are future ready. Mr. Vavia, along with his guidance and stewardship of the brand for the last 2 decades, always kind of looked at relevance for the investor,
Okay.
relevance for the future investor 10 or 15 years down the line once the project is already operational and is built, and obviously making sure that the investment made within a Greenscape project is relevant not just now, but probably in 15 years down the time, 15 years down the line. So the relevance of Greenscape occurs throughout its life cycle. The project is looked at not now, but its relevance, like I said, for the next 15 to 20
15 to
years.
20 years.
Design is a key element. We use probably some of the most well-curated architects in the world. We do a lot of collaborations with architects overseas, and we hope to get really a self-sustained, different brand language for Greenscape in terms of the projects that we do. So everything for us is very vetted, curated, thought once, thought twice, and then thought a third time again. So we deliberately don't have very large projects and very many projects at a time, but we concentrate on a few. But right from our investor experience to the time the gentleman or the lady buy into the brand, to the point of its execution, we try and make it as seamless as possible and as curated an experience as possible.
So, to my understanding, very well planned, customized, and you prefer quality over
Over
quantity.
quantity, absolutely. So we also look at the entire buying experience, right? So now in today's day and age, there are so many builders, and all of us are into the same space. The only difference I think we bring on board is the fact that great attention to detail in terms of design, execution, and I always say this: we are, I think, future forward, and we'll be future ready now and 15 years down the line. That I think is of real importance, right, to the investor. We would ideally like investors who buy into the philosophy first and then buy into the project. So that is where we are striving to look forward to. And it's very easy when someone's vision on the brand is so untrammeled that it comes kind of undiluted down the line. So it's a very unadulterated concept to execute, which I think is a great advantage.
And it seems very transparent to me also from an investor's or a
Oh, yes.
buyer's point of view as well. So very well explained. And again, from the philosophy of green space, I want to ask you that Western India's real estate landscape is evolving rapidly, like how? So from your point of view, what's the most important shift that you're seeing today that will actually define the next decade?
It's funny you ask that. And, so we believe a great deal in Navi Mumbai. So Navi Mumbai for us is a huge market, and we believe very strongly in the future of Navi Mumbai, given the fact, with new development like the airport coming up and
Yes.
infrastructure with the Atal Setu. And I don't think there's ever been a better time for Navi Mumbai than we are at the present. Um, at Greenscape, we want to kind of rethink the way Navi Mumbai will be settled in the next 10 years or 15 years. To that effect, we are at the moment, one of our latest projects is called Cyber Square.
Cyber Square. Okay.
Yes, and it is a commercial mixed use development which includes commercial buildings, a residential project, a retail arcade, a clubhouse, all constrained within a green core. So, one of Greenscape's beliefs, and it's a belief that comes right from within, is the fact that we've got to be looking into nature, right? We can't be going crazy developing unashamedly without having the concept of a green space within which people can evolve. So, the way Cybersquare has been designed, the entire development looks into a central green core. And I think that really changes the way projects will be viewed now and in the future. So, there are two or three other points that I'd like to just mention on this fact. So, we are actually in the process of developing. Cybersquare for us is not just a project, it is as we see the future will develop. It's developing an ecosystem within a city. And I know the concept of city within a city has been used so many times. But the reason we actually buy into the theory is that we believe we can create an ecosystem where you can work culturally, where you will be able to, work professionally, enjoy the space culturally, as well as have all your therapeutic retail and club
Yeah.
areas. So I think that for us is a key differentiator, and it's a philosophy that we take now. Like I said, we want to be relevant 10 years down the line. We want to be relevant when there comes a time when probably the home to office commute is a 5 minute walk as opposed to a 2 hour drive.
That's a dream of actually every Mumbaikar
Right?
now.
Everyone would want to do that. Uh, I drive 3 hours to work every day, and it's ridiculous. But
Oh.
the point is that we're trying to envisage how life is going to change and preempt for it at Greenscape.
And to what you have explained, I think that will be a really sought after thing in Navi Mumbai
We hope
once
so.
it's
we,
developed.
we hope so because we've got one of we've got an international architect working with us. We've got the best designers on facade, execution. So we're hoping this will be a game changer, and a game changer it will be. It'll change possibly the way Navi Mumbai is perceived
Yes.
in terms of now to all the way to 2032.
32. And whenever I visit that place, once it's developed, I'm going to remember this conversation that we
Yes,
had today.
absolutely. You must.
You know?
And, yeah, and I can proudly tell you that the vision, when you finally see it and when it gets completed, which is a few years down the line, you will realize how untrammeled and unadulterated the vision is. So the vision is seamlessly translated. And I always say, right, at Greenscape, we accomplish tomorrow's design today. No kind of adulteration in the thought process.
So I'm going to tell people, I know when it was conceptualized and
Yes,
once it was
absolutely,
discussed.
absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
some brownie points for me now. So
Yeah,
okay.
no, absolutely,
So
100%.
moving on again, Mr. Ali, talking about real estate, where scale, speed, and sustainability, they actually compete.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Even from the buyer's
Yeah.
point of view. So how do you personally balance business growth and the long-term impact, keeping in mind all these three things?
That's that's a great question. Not easily answered. And so I think all of us at Greenscape realize the fact that great projects can't be hurried, right? Environment has to be taken into consideration. The relevance of a project in its geographical space has to be taken into account. Also, the way the project lead times in terms of completion of the project 5 years down the line, whether the infrastructure will support it. So you won't believe it, but we actually do go through all of these different situations, and then we address projects accordingly. We actually go down to that detail, and I'm so proud of it because I would, keeping in tune with Mr. Vavia's vision, right? And he's kind of ingrained this right from the top down, and it goes from him to all of us, right down to the guy who's actually executing, right? Is that excellence is not hurried. excellence is deliberate, and quality is paramount. All this taken into account within a sustainable system, both in terms of the environment, in terms of long-term sustainability of the financial aspects of the project. All of this has to be a marriage that has to work. Obviously, it's not easy, and that's the truth. But we find the best possible way to be able to balance all these aspects and finally launch a project. That's why we take longer than a lot of other developers would. But we are proud of the fact that deliver a quality product,
Product, yeah.
and a product that I always say is future ready. So
Okay,
that's something that we look forward
so
to.
again, from your point of view, um, 5 things, or probably just 2 to 3 things about living in Navi Mumbai, some myths that you'd like to break.
So okay, so Navi Mumbai, is I think there's going to be a time, and I don't think it's very far, when Navi Mumbai is not going to technically be Navi Mumbai anymore. It'll probably be just another suburb of Bombay, like Bandra is, or
Yes.
any of the western or eastern suburbs are. I think Navi Mumbai has a distinct advantage in terms of being able to be featured in a way that is infrastructure proof, infrastructure relevant, more planned development, where there's not too much of hindrance on the way uh, plotting is done. I think it's a more sustainable model. We've got more space in terms of expansion, physical as opposed to South Bombay is. And I really don't think Navi Mumbai will ever be second fiddle to any other great city. I mean, it's just that its time is now. And I think the quicker most of us in Navi Mumbai are on the bandwagon for Navi Mumbai as a region to develop, I think the growth scale for Navi Mumbai is only going to get better. It really is.
Definitely, and that sounds really interesting to me. So, again, talking about the ET Now Reality
Yeah.
Conclave and Awards, since you've received the award, how does it feel like for this recognition and something, because it's you representing your team and your
Right,
brand?
right.
So, I want to know something on that.
So number one is I'm extremely humbled because I'm here talking to you, knowing that there's hundreds of people and architects and project managers and the CEO's vision, and it's easy to be the man up front to collect the award. But obviously, it's I have a very small part of it. I think a lot of it belongs to my team. We're extremely proud of the way Greenscape has been the brand ethos has worked, our work ethos has worked. We're very proud of the fact that we are led with a man whose vision is untrammeled. I keep saying this, and it's probably the single largest take I can probably give you is the fact that quality is never compromised. Excellence is always rewarded, right? And ET is something that you can't take not seriously. So we are incredibly fortunate to be considered with ET on this, and we can only look forward to better associations in the future.
And we are really glad to hear that as well. So, sir, you've already told me a couple of points that sets your brand apart from the
Yeah.
other brands. Um, do you feel that today, like the already existing competitors, they actually pose a challenge to you in some way or the other?
So I don't honestly think. I think the real estate landscape in Mumbai is pretty big. I think each one finds their own niche and thrives within that niche. I think we at Greenscape have found our niche, have found the people who want to buy into the brand and buy into the ideology that we want to promote. Um, I don't think any great brand isn't really a competition to the other. I think it's a subset of what the investor feels they should kind of, invest into. Obviously, the person who buys into a greenscape project, it could be a villa at our project in Lonavala called Meraki Life, is different from a gentleman who buys a fantastic house at Rich Candy. It doesn't matter. The point is, I think, how relevant each brand is to that particular person. I think that's where brands should really, really score. So I think gone are the days, right, when houses and commercial real estate is sold on square feet,
Yeah.
right? I don't think. I think all of us as investors and and people who want to buy into a new home or an office, I think are more evolved than all of this.
Yes, absolutely.
Right? We need an address. We need amenities that are world class. We need pedestrian friendly walkways. We need green areas, right? So I think the evolution of customer expectation has changed. And I think at Greenscape, we kind of recognize what our clients and our investors buy into. And I think we've just succeeded at capitalizing on the fact that Mr. Vavia's vision has been translated into people who are willing to buy into the brand first and then want to probably look into the project. We're proud of that, to be very honest. And like I keep saying, it's a very easy shift because the vision is, I keep saying, the vision is very straight. It's quality, excellence, and future ready. Once we achieve these parameters, I can probably make sure that this is a Greenscape project. So we are very privileged in that space, and I don't think, like I said, every developer and construction company has their own niche. I think competition would exist at a particular market segment where it would kind of get heated, and we respect that. But I think we don't compete in that space. Not that we are the best in what we do. It's just that our philosophy is different, right? It's design has always been core of our philosophy. Square footage, optimum use of space has always been a consideration, but never in terms of customer experience. Never in terms of investor experience, never in terms of uh, compromising design. So I think we have a different approach to business, and we've been pretty successful at it, and we're very happy with where we are right now, and the future's only going to get better.
I'm sure, and I'm really going to look forward for that. And so, again, my last question to you. So, if you were advising the next generation of real estate leaders who are entering the Western India's market, so what's one mindset change or capability that they must build from day one to achieve success?
Oh, that's a tough one. Uh, I think I think if you're talking about Western India, and if you're talking about more of Bombay, right? And I don't mean this with any kind of disrespect to any other region of India. I think the person who buys into Western India, specifically in Bombay, in Maharashtra, probably Bombay, Pune, all of these places, right?
Yes.
I think the average client in our subset of work, in what we specialize in, which is, the upper end of the market, I think is very evolved. Is very evolved. He or she has probably seen the world around, right? How do you get someone to part their hard-earned money into a project that just sells on square feet? We don't do that. So I think it's more of the, how do I put it? It's more of experience. I think it's an experiential decision, obviously weighed with finance, but I think the decision is more experiential. How do you increase the intangible to the tangible? And I think if we succeed in promoting the intangible, which is the brand ethos, the core design philosophy, the green cores that we always specialize in, I think that's what makes a difference between people who will buy 10 years ago to people who have bought 10 years ago to people who buy now, and it will only get even more specialized probably 10 years down the line.
Well, that completely sums up
Yeah.
Greenscape, and I'm glad to interview a veteran in the industry.
Well, I don't know about veteran, but Greenscape is true enough.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you so much for chatting
Thank you
with
for
us, and
having
many,
us.
many congratulations once again.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.